How you doing? This is Deshaun Woods of your City of Coaches podcast. I got a special guest today, Coach Stansberry over here at Mesa High School. As you guys know, I'm all up in the Phoenix area metropolis situation. Coach, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Man, welcome you on the podcast. I really do. I appreciate this opportunity to visit you in your beautiful facility. Actually, it gives me a Laker vibe. I am a diehard Laker fan and such things like that. Coach is just finishing up his second year here at Mesa High. How did you feel about the season so far? What's some of the progression that you feel like you've come since you've taken over the reins?
Well, our first year was it was good. It was good. We we made the Sweet 16. I had Zach Hobbs on the team. He's at Montana State now.
Okay.
So he's a freshman over there. I took a team over that was really good and ready to roll, and so we made a run at it. We tied for the region championship, and so we had a great year. It was rough at first because I was coming in and incorporating my system, and it was a little different from what they were used to previously. But they were great. Like, they were leaders, captains. That whole senior group, even some of the juniors, just came on and accepted everything I said, and we made a run at it. And we lost in the Sweet 16 to Mountain Point. We had our chances. You make a few buckets here and there, and you move on. But it didn't fall for us. This past year, I would say we underperformed a little bit. We for sure thought we would make the playoffs, and didn't quite happen that way. But it was definitely a good learning year. It was a good learning year for everyone involved, including the seniors. A lot of the seniors on the team had played, JV basketball the year before, so they were catching up really quick. And we had a lot of lopsided losses. Like, we lost a few games by 30, and then we had some heartbreakers where we lost in overtime, or lost by 1, or lost by 2 points. And so it was just a up and down season. We also had some great wins, So we were all over the place this year. It was a great learning year, which I think is going to be great for next year.
And it was your year, So it's it's always good to have that comfortable first year, right? Like you said, you had some players, you had D1 players, something like that. And this year you actually, because I've looked you up a little bit, you actually like coaching, you like schemes, you like creating different things. So this year probably was exciting. Maybe, probably didn't translate wins and losses, stuff like that, but you had a lot of close losses, though. Don't hold yourself short with that, because I definitely see that 100%. But you can tell that you probably felt comfortable being able to incorporate. This is a 6A school. Where I'm from would be like Division I, so you're at the top of the food chain.
Right.
Congrats on doing that. Now we did speak on before off camera that you were at a school, Apache Junction.
Yeah, Apache Junction.
Apache Junction. You were there for how many years?
I was there for 3.
For 3 years.
Right.
Man, so how was it feeling when you first got that call? Like, all right, coach, you're gonna be our new head coach. Such things like that.
Here at Mesa?
No, here at Junction.
At Apache Junction.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I went for that job was that's where I taught. So I was teaching out there. So 4 years before that, I was an assistant coach here at Mesa High. So I was already assistant here, but I was teaching at Apache Junction and at the PE job out there.
Okay.
So I was already acquainted with I worked at the junior high. So I was already acquainted with the junior high kids, and as they went on to high school, I kept track of them, and I would see them and wish them the best. So I already knew about them out there. And so, when the job came open, it was like, I was sitting here well, I don't want to be an assistant forever. I want my own job. And
that's the goal.
Right.
So, yeah.
and the thing with Apache Junction is that it's a tough place to coach and win at. I don't know if it's location or what it is, but while I was keeping up with everyone, they were not having the greatest years, and so a lot of the kids were like, Coach, this ever comes open, would you be interested? And I'd always be like, no, I'm at Mesa, I love it, there's just no way. But things in life happen, and it just so happened at that time it was, you know what, I am tired of seeing these boys get beat up on, and I think I can make a change, and the whole I'm a winner and I can do it, and so that got in the way, and I was like, well, let's do it, I'm gonna apply. Then I told him, I was like, I might go for it, but there's no guarantee I'm gonna get it. Obviously, you got to go through a whole process of it, but I put my name in, I got it. The toughest part really was saying goodbye to Mesa at the time. So whenever it's like, we want you to be our coach at Apache Junction, it was like, cool, I got my own varsity job. Here we go. Here's gonna be the start of my head coaching career. And so, but it was tough to come over here, come back and tell them hey, I'm taking a job at Apache Junction, because it was 14-15. So I knew that team was going to be special the next year.
That's tough.
So it was tough to be like, I was like, this gonna be a special team. And I didn't want to leave, but
Yeah.
you're stuck between I don't want to leave, but I want my own job. And so, I told them, and I went and took my job, and just so happened the year I left, they won the state championship. So it was like, man, watching them win the state that year I remember being on the couch. I didn't go to that game because it started like so late at night, and I had a newborn.
Congrats.
So it's like I can't go take this kid out to a game at night on a Tuesday, which is something I don't know why AIA does that. They do. I think it's because they're conflicting of schedules. But I remember watching it, and I was so happy for the kids because I had coached them their freshman and JV.
Part of their life, yeah.
So it's like, and I got a couple texts that night like, Coach, thank you for everything without you. And it was like, it made me feel great.
Yes.
But at the same time, I was like, I should be on that court jumping up and down with them, like cutting a piece of the net down. But I was beyond happy for them and for Mesa and for everybody involved because, I was here and I put so much into it for the 4 years. But yeah, getting a job there. But I had took AJ that first year to the playoffs for the first time in like 10 years.
Yeah, I was going to ask you some of your experience because I did notice some of your experience at that school where you got them into the playoffs, where you guys were part of the playoffs as well. And not everyone knows, people who are viewing from other states, that not every state gives you an automatic bid. I think I spoke that prior in a recent video that like Arizona and California, you actually have to, be a bid in. Like someone has to actually say, well, they get to go in other schools. So congrats with that as well. So you're already on the verge of, you're there, you're getting in the rhythm as this head coaching position. Like you said, you were there for 3 seasons. I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact you put the program in a better mental place. Right. You probably got people involved. I think I read something you were saying, like you went to one of your games, there was like 6 people in the crowd.
Right, my very first game, my very first home game.
What are some of the transitions as a coach? How do you get people in the stands?
Well, I mean, I did little things. So I remember that first home game, and I counted them. I was like 6 people. I was like 6 people. That's great. And I think 4 of them might have been parents, and the other 2 were just, I think some fans.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, okay, this is what all right. I knew, but I didn't know there was no, no music. There was no announcer. It was just no atmosphere. And I was like, wait a minute now, like as we start winning games, because I fully intend to win games, is we got to start getting this a little bit, get some, why are there no students here? Like these guys go to school together, like what's going on? So right then and there, I was like, this is gonna be interesting. I just did things like that. I went and found an announcer. I said, hey, can you announce for us? Got a little starting lineup music. Got music going in timeouts. I started reaching out to elementary schools and telling them come in the games for free, and go sit on that side. I closed the other bleachers on purpose to make it look more.
It's your AD and you will.
So I was just making moves like that. I think I even did like a raffle, and I was just for reasons to come. And then for me it was because once they get in this gym, they're gonna be like, well, wait a minute, they're actually not bad. They can play some basketball, and then that will, but I knew you had to like sell it at first. So I just did little things like that. I had a freshman kid in the closet with the iPod, and I told him 30-second full timeout, you push play, turn it up when the referees blow the whistle.
Coach, I hear you.
So it was like I was only like coaching, and then I get up and then I'd be like cut the music, and so it was like, man, and I had to wash uniforms, and I had to do the whole deal. But I did just little things like that, and then I went to student council. And I said, why don't we have a student section? Like, let's have a student section. Let's call it the Mine Shaft, because we're prospectors. Like, let's come up with something creative. And so I got some students to the games. And like I said, then once they start seeing we're actually going on a playoff run, it was, next thing you know, it was like there was people. And then I remember my 3rd year, we were playing Washington High School. And I had like an elementary night out there, and along with everybody. And I remember coming out, and it was like packed. And I was like, man, just inside of you, you just go from like, I remember 2 years ago seeing 6 people in like no environment to it is packed, it's live, it's, people want to be here. We're playing a team for first in our region. It's not this like, oh, are they going to win or whatever. It was like, this is a first place game. Yeah. The city knew. I contacted the newspaper guy because it's AJ's got their own little newspaper. So I would contact him all the time and be like, here's what's going on, this is what we're doing. And he would put it in the paper for me. So there was a lot of connections that I was getting to push our basketball program.
You sounded like a JUCO coach right now. So you made me feel like I'm talking to myself.
Hey, so I mean, I did. Hey, man, I had do what
you
we
have
had
to do those things, especially
So-
you said in that market, you knew that you had to do. You said 6 is not enough, but it's not going to be for parents. Like, you figured it out, and bless you with that, coach, because that you're gonna be able to take that to wherever level you go, right? So even getting to a bigger school, that's nothing, right? It's like, oh, yo, I did the work already.
Right.
So exciting to that, 100%,
Right.
right? What are some of the so we're here back at Mesa. Hi AJ, if you guys are looking, appreciate the opportunity to talk and hear about you guys.
Yeah.
Hope the season goes well. We're here at Mesa now.
Right, we're at Mesa.
This is your house.
Yeah, we at Mesa.
Right?
Yeah.
People coming to this purple and yellow, what they expect?
Well, with me, man.
With you, anyway,
So I tell the boys, when I took the job, I showed them a video. I said, this is what's going to be like with me. And my favorite player of all time is Kevin Garnett.
Okay.
So that's my guy. Like,
Okay.
man, I love him.
KG.
And so I showed him this. I showed him this video of Kevin Garnett, and it was he was talking about the playoffs, NBA on TNT playoffs, and he was just like, when he played, and now the playoffs was a different deal, and he was like Chris Webber and Tim Duncan and Rasheed Wallace, and he's like, yo, I knew their game better than they knew their game, and he was like 365, 24/7, like we gonna go hard, like no days off, injured, not injured, like we just gonna go. And the one thing he said in that video was, this is not for everybody. And so I showed him this video, and the guys were like, whoa, like, 'cause, Kevin Garnett's an intense guy, and you can only imagine the video was pretty nuts. And so, I shut it off, and I was like, that's what it's gonna be like. I was like, it's not gonna be for everybody. Like, you have to love basketball to get through a practice of mine, to get through this, like, because this is a grind, and it's 6A, like you said. It's one of the first things I learned coming back was there's no nights off. Every guy can coach at this level, not disrespecting the lower level coaches, but there was times where it was like I needed more of a
You
challenge.
did your time already, so you
Yeah.
can say what you want.
So you know what I mean? I just felt there was games where I was
did
like,
your time,
I just
yeah.
felt like sometimes like I was at AJ like, why does this play keep working? Like, why is there not an adjustment being made? Like, I need to be challenged. Like, give me something to be like, oh, okay, he took that away. Let me, put my boys in position
Love
to,
it.
you know what I
Love
mean?
it, yeah.
And it was just it got too, like, I don't want to say easy, but it was like, this play's working this is not good. At the 6A level, it's like, you're getting scouted, they know what's going on, and you have
They
to.
got staff, yeah.
We're doing scouting reports for games. It's like, they may switch this, they may do this, they may face guard, they may do all these things, and this is the counter now. And so it challenges me. This is why I do it. Like, it challenges me, and it makes me feel great because it puts the boys in position to win. But yeah, man, that's being back. It was like it ain't gonna be for everybody, and the guys saw that in the first couple of practices. We're doing some 17s and some down and backs because I fully believe that a lot of teams. I like to press, and I like to pick up full court, and I want to get in you and make you make mistakes and feed off that. But I feel a lot of the times coaches want to press and they want to get in you, but they don't want to train that way to do it. Like, they want to pick up, but they don't really want to. So like, I train the boys like, look, by the time this game is over, like, we're gonna be fine because we like practice gonna be way harder than any game. Like, this is gonna be this is the
love
easy
it.
part.
Yeah.
And so sometimes practice is like they're throwing up and cramping up, but it's like this is easy, or the game's gonna be the easy part. You know what I mean? So so that's what I meant by that, and that's why I push them in practice for the game to be like there's times where it hasn't, and they're like, we could probably play another one. If we go to 3-4 overtimes, like, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be straight.
And
So-
it shows, especially in the stats, it shows like you're in games that people probably think you're not supposed to be in games. You're in it because of the preparation that you place into your players. So some of this game, we talked a little bit about transition offense and stuff like that. Like, how do you feel like what stands you apart from your system compared to other programs around the area?
I mean, for me, it's just, I'd rather, like I do teach, we go over, I would say a college level offense. One of the guys I look up to in the college level is Jay Wright at Villanova, and I love the way he does things with his guys because they're good, but they're tough.
Almost
like,
positionless.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and they
still use a mid-range.
and they don't have any egos. That's what I like about them. Like, there's not this like they got these teams and they got 5 NBA players, but yet they make it work and they play together and they jump stop and they shot fake and
don't mind
they're in
staying
triple
either.
threat. There's no like, they're disciplined, and so like I take a lot of that. Like, we could play discipline, and I got 5 D1 kids, hopefully like that's what that's where it's at. So for me, it's just being I harp on being disciplined, but I harp on like picking up too. Like, I do want to press you. I'd rather not run that offense all day. If we can get steals and score, get in the passing lanes and go get some layups, then perfect. you know, but at the same time, it's like if we have to, you know, we got that too.
Coach,
So,
it's important to, you know, to adjust, right? Because you get a lot of people, oh, I press. You're not preparing these kids to get to a college team and stay,
right,
right? Press is fine, but most of the times it's only man press at the college level, right? So you getting out of that is really good. It shows that you belong at the 6A level because you're actually going to be preparing your kids to the college, right? In a lot of cases, kids get to college and they're not fully prepared because they wasn't coached the correct way. So just hearing you say that without me asking you that, I give you kudos for even understand that, right? Getting that mentality. Yeah, I'm going to get after it because I need to make some turns. Maybe we're struggling in offense, but don't get me wrong. I can teach my players how to play basketball. And I like that you said that in that way, Coach, 100%. So
I think another thing too to go on top of that was, you know, coaching under Coach Burkhardt. He's at NAU, and being under him for 4 years was there was a lot of college coaches that came through these doors. And one thing I always did was I like to pick the brains of them. Like, well, what do you guys look for? Like, why, you know, you're here looking at our players. Well, what are you looking for? What do you want? And I would always ask them some questions. You know, when, you know, I remember the Utahs and Colorados and Air Force, New Mexico, U of A. They'd all walk through this door to see some of the past teams we had and interested some of our players. And so, you know, knowing Coach and then knowing the coaches that came through here that are doing and scouting, it's like I always pick their brains. Like, what are you looking for, so that I could always help go in future when I knew I got my own job. Like, hey, this is what they're looking for, and I know because I've talked to them, or I know because I know one myself. So, you know what I mean? So it's like when I tell them that, it's like, I'm not just saying this to say it. It's like I'm trying to help you because I've got the information from guys that are in the business, and, you know, so I try to tell the guys that all the time, like, look, if you're trying to play at the next level, like, this is what they're looking for. You can, you know, like, this is what it is.
Yeah,
so
if you want to be part of, whether you're the star player or the last player on the bench, you need to be able to play basketball. It's not just about pressing. It's not just about getting them. It's about being part of a full, complete game. And most of the schools, but there's only, 2 major schools out here. So most of the schools, all the colleges out here are playing where you have to play at all levels. You have to be able to formate in every way. You know, I get, oh yeah, well, U of A's out there. I'm like, yeah, but that's one school out of all the other colleges out here that teach these kids to get to the next level. Then they're going to be more rounded, and their career's going to last longer too. You could be a high flyer for a couple of years. Think of Vince Carter. Like, I think for the past 15 years, he's just been a shooter. Right. Go from being an alt dunker, this and third, he'd be able to evolve his game and something like that. And it sounds like you even evolving your coaching style and something like that. So being at the 6A level, people will say it's kind of easy to get a staff. How did you go about getting your staff? I've seen you, like 4 assistants?
yeah.
So how did you go about getting your staff? Because that's hard. A lot of coaches want to know about that. That's why I asked you that, Coach.
No, it's not easy. It's not easy. And in my first year, you know, I had a different coaching staff this year than I had
totally
the first
different.
year.
Interesting. Okay.
And so again, no, it's not easy. You just want to. The main thing I could tell coaches out there and anybody is you just got to get guys that you trust and that are going to do what's right for the kids and for the program, and, you know, have your back. And so if you could find that, then, you know, that to me is like the main thing.
Right.
And so, you know, this past year, you know, varsity assistant Cameron Washburn, he actually played. I actually coached him his freshman year here. He's a Mesa alum. He graduated 2015, so we made an Elite 8 run together when I was an assistant here. And, you know, being the assistant on the bench, you kind of know who's going to be a coach down the road. You hear guys talk like, you know, and Cameron was always that one of them guys where I was like, this guy's he can coach because he's seeing the game, and he'll be, you know, he's on the bench and, you know, coach is coaching, I'm assistant, but coach, they doing this, what you think? And it's like, yeah, you see the game. So it's like, you know, you got the makings to be a coach. So, you know, I called on him because, again, it's someone I coached, trusted, and he was like, for sure. Like, well, when I went, he actually assisted with me at Apache Junction for a season.
Yeah.
So and he came, once we came, he was like, yeah, we're going back to Mesa because he graduated from here. Coach Urban, Joe Urban, he's the JV coach. He's teaching at Taylor Junior High, and he was here previously, but, I mean, he was, you know, kept from the previous coaching staff, and, you know, he's great, and they say he's developing the junior high guys and coaches down there, so that's another thing. You want to have someone down there
A feeder situation.
you know, junior high level, and as well as being up here, so that works out. And then, you know, I added Dante Metter this past year. He played at Mesa High, graduated 09, I believe, and went to Tulsa And, you know, he had unfortunate, you know, blown out his ACL. And so now he's, you know, he's our freshman coach, and he's, I would say he's the skill development guy in our program. And so he'll come in and he does the ball handling and does all that stuff because he knows what it takes to get that next level as well. So he's on there, and then I got Tony Darden. He's a varsity assistant, and he, you know, he was at Desert Vista. He coached, and so again, I met him through some people, and you know, we sat down and talked, and you know what I mean. And it's really like, it's not just like, hey, you want to coach? It's really you know, like conversations, and you know, because again, it's like you got to bring the right people on. You got to have the right people behind you. So
if you can, a lot of people not afforded that. You've done well getting the staff together to even be able to, you know, you can walk down the bench and maybe talk to the refs and know that your coaches are still
for sure
giving out the same message that you're providing for them.
For sure, and you know, and I make that you know, thing with the coaches. I'm always like, hey, let's make sure we're on the same page. You never want them hear like differences, this and that, and it's. You know, but yeah, it's tough. Like even being at Apache Junction, now that's a much tougher situation. Like my first year, it was just me and one other guy. And I was like, hey, well, we're just going to do everything by ourselves, and let's just do it. Rather than me bringing a guy in and I don't really know, and I don't, it's like, well, what, you know.
Which is tough.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel more comfortable. I got this guy, we can do it together, let's do it. And, you know, and I know that's in the best interest. So it's not easy, definitely not easy. Because in the schedules, like some people work, and I mean, we get paid like, you know, 5 cents an hour, basically, you know what I mean? So, so it's like, you got to find guys too that it's like, you know, does this work with your schedule?
Yeah, does it work? Because I might not be able to, because I'm not getting no coins, so I know you're not.
So and I've actually met a lot of people that I was interested in bringing on staff, and they just couldn't do it because the schedules didn't work out. So, you know, so it's tough, but that's why I feel like, you know, the high school coach is important, and that's why I try to like make my assistants, you know, I'm like, I always make sure that they feel appreciated, they know, you know, I'm here for them, because, you know, it's tough. Like we're here all the time. I mean, we're here more than home. So I would just say, you know, just if you can, just find guys that you trust and, you know, are going to work for the kids and for you and for the program, and everything else will work out. And if you can, I would say don't add someone that you are not too comfortable with, unless you absolutely have to. But
this is important information, honestly, Coach, because this is one of the biggest things about this platform is, you know, you're speaking to a coach right now who literally is probably just getting his first head coach position. And a lot of times they give you that first year and it don't work out. So you want to pick the right people, and we understand there's some limits financially, scheduling, something like that. And especially if you're at the real low level where you have to drive 2 hours or 3 hours, so they might have to get off of work early or get class, something like that. You know, so definitely, Coach, I appreciate you sharing that information.
And even one last thing, my freshman JV coach, Coach Urban, Coach Metter, they couldn't get off work until 4. So I just worked it to where practice for the lower level was at 4:30 every day, or 5:30. And then they within themselves worked it out to, you know, Dante worked a way to where he would get off a little early to make sure he made the freshman games on game days. So they worked it out that way, but I worked it out for them as far as like, you know, there was an early practice at 3, or it's, you know, I talked with the girls coach, like, look, man, I really want these guys on my staff. There's what's best. Can I move this schedule? You know, obviously you got to have a good support system at the school too. And she worked, she's like, yeah, perfect. So my girls can go early. And it's like, for sure. But it's like, it worked. Like, okay, guys, I can get you in late because I really want you here. So that's another thing too, like adjust what you have to, if you really want somebody, like figure it out. Adjust, you know, the schedules to make it work, to have these coaches that you know are great for the program. So, you know, I did that with my coaches. Like, we just pushed practice back. You know, and like tell the lower level guys, like, do your homework after school, because you know you're going to be practicing at, you know, 4:35. And then that way, when practice is over, you go home, you're done. Don't wait till after.
Yeah, don't wait till 10 o'clock.
So it'd be perfect. I'd walk in the locker room and, you know, they be doing homework, or they go to the library and then practice. So so it works. Like, you just got to, like, say, you find the people and then you try to find a way to, like, make it work.
There you go. Coach gave you that great information right there. So you finished your second year. Okay, so we're in spring, and the good thing about Arizona is that you can go all year. What kind of breaks are you giving some of the guys before you really get back into it?
Yeah, last year I gave season ended, and not even them, me myself, I need some time to.
I'm glad
like,
you thought about that.
You know what I mean?
Coach.
Like, I need time to like, you know, I've been game planning, scouting.
Wife and a youngin' too.
You know, yeah, and it's, you know, it's like I need time for myself. And now, especially, you know, if I was younger, it probably would have been like, let's get after it. But now, you know, I got a 5 and almost a 2-year-old. It's like, you know, they haven't seen me basically all year because, you know, you got the games and then, you know, you're scouting and you're at practice and, you know, by the time you get home, you're exhausted. But first things first is like take time for myself and get back in the, you know, recharge my batteries. But usually you want to give the guys some time off too because then they're going to get involved with club and stuff like that too. So it's like, you want to make a for real run, you can't run the kids into the ground.
Right.
And I already know that. I run them, you know, pretty hard during the season.
You do what you need to do in the season.
So you try to find that balance of like, okay, when we going to go again? And, you know, now that spring break's about to end, it's like, all right, we're going to pick it up. And I'm doing it a little sooner this year because of, you know, you evaluate your program. You know, if you have guys and everybody's returning and you made like a Final Four run, but everybody's coming back, you can kind of, okay, we just got to work on some things. But, you know, that's the thing of being a high school coach is you got to evaluate the next year's team and be like, okay, when am I going to get started? You know, who am I looking at? Who do I got to evaluate? What do we need to do? Did the offense last year work this year? Because that's the other thing too as a high school coach is you can maybe have your system, but you may not have the players because you don't, you know, you're not.
It's not just injuries. It could be transfer. It could be family things.
Right.
They may just be not want to play anymore or grades. You're right.
So it's like, oh, I got this type of kid. I got a, you know, or, you know, I got nothing but 5'8" kids. Or so you have to see. I'm the type of guy who's like, what's the make of my team? And then let me find something that fits them to be successful. Because if I just, you know, if I got a 5'6" kid in the post, I just don't understand why I would do that. It doesn't make any sense. So, you know, you find out what the next year's team is about and what you got coming. It might be a quicker team, might be a slower team, and you have to, you know, I feel like a lot of coaches make mistakes in that kind of aspect of, well, this is my system, this and that, but it's like, well, you're putting the kids in the wrong position. So I try, you know, like I want to put them in the best possible position to be successful, like whatever it is. So, but yeah, going into it right now, we're about to get started, you know, and we're about to start.
Summer camps or stuff like that? Or?
Yeah, we always do summer camp, and I think it's the biggest in the state at Mesa. You know, we get like 400 kids in June. That's our summer camp. May will be mini camp to prepare our high school team for the June season. Right now, it's kind of like letting the guys play with their club teams, and you know, but we got a 7th hour. We get after it here. We do some skill work and go over some things, and you know, we watch film and things like that. Like I believe in the IQ of the game. Like let's watch film from the previous year and figure that out. So
Gotta be a student. Always.
Yeah, so that's like kind of the off season is, you know, not wearing them out, but learning from what happened the previous year and fixing where they can get better. So, you know, I like to meet with all the players and tell them individually. I actually have them write, you know, what their feelings were in the previous year or last year, and, you know, see if it matches what I'm saying. I just want to see if they do.
Right way.
And
You're doing it the right way, man.
You know, like, hey, you were this next year. Well, you gotta add this to your game. You gotta add this to your game. And so I tell every kid, like, you got this. That's good. Like, but now you gotta add some more stuff so that we can be more of a threat. And that's one of the things I think I take most pride in is just continuing to get better. You know, I don't ever want to stay status quo. Like, let's just continue to get better so that when we go into February, we're at the best at, you know, even getting better each and every game.
You'll put it all out there.
So it's strategic, and I map it out. I get calendars out, and I'm like, okay, this week we'll do this, and this week we'll do this. But I know the kids got this going on, or tests, or finals, and so it's just like you said, year round, and it's ongoing. But you know, right now we're doing some skill work and stuff.
It helps that way because that way they're still living their life, but they're still part of the program throughout the summer. They're like out here doing all kind of crazy things, something like that. Do you get into like fall leagues and stuff like that?
Yeah, we get into a fall league every year. So we'll do that again next year. Like right after, you know, when school starts, we'll get into a fall league. Got a great weight training coach, you know, so after spring break, we're gonna start that after school. They'll go after school, they'll go weight train and lift. And like I said, it's such a great place to be because he comes up to me and, what do you need? What are you looking for the boys to do? And I'll, you know, tell him whatever I want, and he'll work on those things. So it's definitely a family around here. Like we all look out for each other. And it's like, what do you need, coach? And like I said, with the other coaches, what do we need? And we always find a way to work it out. So
it sounds like you got a good situation with that, you know, especially with you got the strength and conditioning coach. I remember being a former college player. We didn't even see the head coach until October. We get on campus in July. It's all about the strength and conditioning coach and maybe a couple of lower assistants, but we didn't even see the head coach until maybe October because like we're their strength and conditioning coach all the way until, conditions over, and then we get into the plays and such things like that. So you got a little situation.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah,
a little
for sure.
situation, you know, with that, Coach. All right, so this is my it's called Ask a Coach a Question segment. I just introduced it in the last episode, so you're my second guy.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to ask you one, though, because of the fact that I don't know how lengthy this is going to be. All right. You're having a type of game. Parents may not be necessarily happy the outcome of the game. When is the best time to reach out to you to express their concerns?
With the parents?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I tell them in a preseason parent meeting, there's a 24-hour no contact. So 24 hours is usually a time for, lets me, you know, because I might have heard some things. I usually try not to. I try to zone it out. But, you know, I get it. Like, I know every parent out there wants their kid to play the full 32 minutes, and there's, you know, 14 kids on the team, and it's just not possible. So I make that going into the season. I make that, look, 24 hours, so we can calm down a little bit or whatever the situation is. And then for sure, like, contact me. And if, you know, I put it into the kids' hands first, though. If it's, you know, maybe there's a reason a kid didn't play, ask your kid first, because I will relay that message.
Please,
like, hey, this is why you didn't. Maybe it was even game plan or whatever, like whatever the case may be. Maybe he walked in late to practice.
Parents don't even know half of the time.
They don't know. As I say, sometimes it's like, why didn't you play? And the kid don't want to
Yeah.
tell their parent they walked in late because they're going to get in trouble at home. So, you know, I tell them 24 hours, but then I also tell them to, like, have the, you know, the players, like, you know, and there's times all the time where it's like, Coach, got to talk to you, and it's like, sure. And so, you know, whatever happened, and we'll have that conversation, and it's, you know, it's an honest conversation. This is what's going on. And then after that, it's like, okay, like, if we really need to contact and talk to me about it, then we'll do that. But, I mean, it's pretty simple. Like, it's, you know, I mean, I'm saying it's simple, but it's not, because obviously emotions can get the best of you.
Yeah, but the 24 hours is a good one. I would say 48, but I think 24, I feel like you can adjust yourself and get your emotions out of it in 24. Right. So Coach said 24 hours. That's pretty fair.
For everybody involved, like for everybody involved. I mean, I know that the kids.
Because I don't want to be talking to you about what's, and I just got my butt handed to me for 60 points.
Right.
It's about to be in the paper, okay?
Right.
Or news, just stuff like that. You're dealing with a lot of different things, and coaches are dealing with, you know, you're dealing with, you know, at the max 15 kids, and you're probably playing 12 of them, if that, maybe 9. Right. So you're dealing with something like that. You know, it's definitely good for parents to talk to that player first, ask them why they're not playing. And if they feel that's not an adjustable answer, then communicate with coach in the correct way.
Right.
But at the end of the day, coaches aren't selfish. They're hired to not only basically it's an after-school program, but they want to bring success in the process as well, right? Success brings a lot of different things. So I definitely, all right, so we're done with the serious stuff, Coach. All right, so 5 college or professional coaches. What is your top 5 that may affect you? Not going into detail where they are, but just throw their names out real quick.
1, Don Haskins.
Okay.
Don Haskins.
Okay.
2, Shaka Smart.
Okay.
3,
Shaka.
Jay Wright. 4, where it gets a little, man, that's kind of, I mean, I know those 3 right off the top are big for me. And then I've always liked Roy Williams. And 5, maybe a guy like Lute Olson, someone like that.
Okay, Lute Olson.
Yeah, Lute Olson.
Okay, shout out to U of A. Okay.
Yeah.
But I have to ask you about Haskins though, because my friend who actually I coach college with, shout out to Coach Gaines. So why him? Because you 2 people, only one. That's probably why I like this conversation so well.
All
because
right. Well, here's the thing. My dad was in the Army.
Okay.
So I kind of moved around a lot. And I spent my childhood in El Paso. And so my dad would take me to UTEP games. Tim Hardaway, Antonio Davis, David Van Dyke. And he would just go, and they called him the Bear, and everybody made a big deal, like, here comes the Bear, and he would take that tie off, and he was just like a legend. And so going to those games and seeing how good that UTEP team was back in the day, and I always wanted to play for UTEP. I was like, I'm playing for Don Haskins, and I'm playing at UTEP, and that's what I'm going to do. Didn't realize he's getting older, so in high school, when he retired, it was like, oh, this is not going to happen. Didn't realize he was that old.
Right.
But
Long time.
it was just seeing his teams play at a young age, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was just like magical being in it was called the Special Events Center when I was little. Now it's called the Don Haskins Center because, it's named after him. But going to those games, seeing those players, seeing, I didn't know it at the time, but it's like, I think I liked them, so he recruited them Chicago kids, and they was tough.
Everywhere.
You know what I mean? And they
No matter
came
where
and
you were
played,
from.
and it was just like, I can just remember like watching Tim Hardaway play, and I remember they made like a Sweet 16 run in like 92 with Van Dyke and Rivera, and so it was just like I respected his coaching, and actually, when they beat Kansas in that 92 tournament, because I'm a student of the game, I was just like,
there.
like that was an upset, and it was at AJ. We were playing a team that was just like much better than us. Like how can I help these kids out? And I went and watched that game and what he did, and he just like kind of spread the floor and incorporated the same game plan, and it worked. Like
Four-out option,
yeah. So it's like I'll take it back to them, but that's why, because I grew up watching UTEP, going to those games, and he's a legendary coach, and not many people outside of El Paso really.
You said it so quick. That's how I knew it.
Yeah, like that was my
Boom.
guy, man, and that's and so I've actually had David Van Dyke come to some of my practices. He went to Mesa High.
Okay.
And one of the greatest, he probably doesn't even know, one of the best compliments I've ever received was he came to a practice, and after the practice he was just like, hey, you running practice almost like Don Haskins. I was like blown away, like, oh, for real? He's like, yeah, man, you get after these guys. And
Got a lot of alum out of here, actually. I've seen it,
so the shell drill, and I was like, okay. And so I remember going home that day. So I think that was my first year at AJ, and I was just like, yeah, that's right, I coach like Don Haskins. And it's like I'm on job, but you never, you're still a kid at heart, and you still like, it's like that memory. But yeah, that's why I said it so fast, because,
Yeah, I love it.
it was quick,
That's very. Just to hear coach, this is why I do it, because this is just to hear coaches and their history and what motivates them and see things like that. Like Frank Martin is one of my favorite, what I'm saying, obviously because of his mental capacity and stuff like that. So coach, I definitely appreciate the opportunity to interview you.
Oh, for sure.
I'm definitely actually excited to see what you got coming up. All right. I believe in you. I believe in your program. I'm definitely, if you see me standing in the corner, because I'm watching you. I love coaches who love to coach and love to make a difference, not only in their kids' life, but their staff's life, right?
Sure.
You just put some kids who graduated that still want to be part of the game. You saw they want to be coaches. You place them on your staff. You place some people on your staff that may have been part of other programs. That's all trickles down, right?
Right.
Like you say, you have wonderful athletic director staff. I know that from the print. You go to the website, it looks like a college florium.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we
Mesa got something going on.
We like to do everything.
Right, and the
Everything
colors
top.
is great. Well, Coach, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
appreciate it. See y'all soon in the next episode. Coach, when you throw out your Twitter, people want to follow you, young coaches, parents, whoever.
My Twitter, what is that? It's at S Stansberry Jr.
That's
my-
Stansberry Jr.
Yeah, that's my Twitter. At Mesa Basketball, our Instagram, Mesa Basketball. Then our website is mesajackrabbitbasketball.org. So, go check all that out. Keep up with Mesa, keep up with me. I don't tweet too much. I should probably do a little more, but, but definitely go to our...
He's aware.
Yeah, definitely go to our websites, Instagram, and, good pictures. You keep up with the season, and, we like to, we're proud of our team here at Mesa High for sure, our program.
I'm proud of you already,
Yeah,
Coach. I'm
appreciate
definitely
it.
excited for what you got coming on for the Jackrabbits. Is that correct?
The Jackrabbits.
Jackrabbits, all right. So we already know he's going to be after it, okay? And while you're at it, why don't you hit subscribe button down below. See the Coaches Podcast.
Let me tell you now, people get ready. There's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord.
that train, you're the